Welcome to the third UGH tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be learning how to reference more objects using the reference list in the UghPublisher. Last time we looked briefly at the UghButton references list. This time we'll be looking at the transform references and the UghText references list. So to add an UghText reference to an UghPublisher, all you need to do is have an UghText in the screen, which we have here. Then go to your UghPublisher, drop down the UghText references list, and just make that a little bigger, and drag your UghText into the reference variable in the reference list. So there's your UghText. Now all we need to do is give it a name, and we can reference it in our UghPublisher script. So I'm going to call it awesome text. There we go. Now we're going to go into our UghPublisher script and make pressing this button change this UghText using the UghText reference we just created. So if we go into scripts, and I'm going to change the contents of on awesome button pressed. So this function changes the text field in the UghText that we've named awesome text in the UghText reference list in the UghPublisher. So if we save this and go back into Unity, we can test out our function. So we press play, and if we press this awesome button, we can see that the UghText changes what it says. So now that we've seen how to reference an UghText, we're going to try to reference just an arbitrary transform object. To do this, I'm going to use a separate UghButton to move the transform that we're going to reference. So give me a second to create that UghButton. There we go. So I just created an UghButton. Now, give me a second. I'm going to add it to the UghPublisher, just like we did with the awesome button. So we've added it to the UghPublisher and given it a new function name. So this is the function name that is going to be called when we press this move button. So the only thing we need before we write our function is the transform reference. So the transform reference that I would like to move is the entire dialog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to parent all of the dialog content to the dialog background. And then all I'll have to do in the script is move the dialog background around. So this dialog background will be the transform that we reference. So if we go in here, we will add it to the transform references list. So you just drag in the dialog background and name it. So now that we have our transform reference, which has been named, and our new UghButton, which has been given a function name, I'm going to go back into the script and write a function for the button, the move button, which we'll call the function onMoveButton pressed, and it will reference the transforms panel sprite. So just give me a second and I'll finish this function. So we're done with this new function for now. It will take the position of the panel sprite transform and assign it a random y coordinate within that range. So let's save this and go test it out. Go back into Unity, hit play, and let's hit our move button. See that it moves the transform of the dialog background, which then moves all of its children, which are the contents of the dialog. So everything in the dialog moves because of the transform reference we just made. So that's it for tutorial 3. In the next tutorial, we'll learn how to use UghLines to make this dialog box more powerful and flexible.